everyone, welcome to episode 5. Today I want to take you on a walkthrough on a moose that I just photographed a few days ago on a beautiful sunrise day. So here I want to be able to show you some of the photos that I took that day of the moose, and it was right in front of the Grand, which is really great sunrise, and it was a good time. He was right in the hot spring. I was able to capture him in there drinking out of it. I kind of wish I would have had one of my other lenses, but I had only my zoom and that was it actually. I wish I had my wide lens and I would be able to capture the range more and not do a portrait shot like this. But we're gonna walk through editing some of these shots. I got some new tricks that hopefully I can teach you today. So let's get started. First thing I want to do is select some pictures, and I already have. This is one of the photos I'm going to be editing, and this other one. Now, if you're looking to select photos, let's say this is one of your shots that you want to edit, you can flag this. If you hit the letter P on your keyboard, it'll put a flag on it. Also, if you right-click, you go to Set Flag, Flagged. That'll show it. Go to turn these filters off once you've done that, and you go to Flagged. It'll show you the photos that have been picked. If you want to unflag it, you could hit the letter U on flag. That'll take it off. I got rid of that one. Another way to do it is right click, set flag, unflagged, it'll leave a selection. So these are the few ones I selected. I'm gonna walk through one of these photos or two, and we could do an edit. So let's get started. I want to get started on this guy right here. I think it's great. It's got a little expression of him sticking his tongue out right here in this hot spring. So first thing I'm going to do is pick my profile right here. Just scroll down in the develop taskbar here. We're going to select the dash crop overlay, and that way we can rotate the image, and that way I'm evening this out, and there we go. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit to the left. It's a little weird because the hot spring runs on a curve. All right. I don't know. I do not want to crop this. I wish I could get rid of these pieces of grass that's sticking out, but we'll leave them there. I'll just crop it a little bit. Maybe just a little bottom. There we go. Kind of get the rules of third. Get the bull moose in there. That's a little bit better. So we're gonna play with a little bit of white balance. I was shooting a 6400. I'm gonna increase that just probably to like 7,000. Get a little bit more warmth. It was golden hour, so I know there was more warm colors in there. We've done the profile. Increase the exposure maybe by 0.2. That'll be good, and just a little bit of contrast to add a little depth there. Highlights, remember this is something you can play with. I usually go to the left to take away some overexposed light. It's not overexposed here, but kind of even that light out. I could bring that back. And then shadows, if you want to bring out your shadows more. I don't think I need to apply that. Remember clipping on our whites, we can hold the Alt button and slide this to the right, and that means I'm overexposing. I'm clipping my image. We don't want to do that far, but we can see. I know I don't want to go past 75. I'll keep it light, about 30. Same thing with black. Right there about -70, but I think that's too much. We'll do that about -10. And the other way to do it, remember, is if you go to your histogram, hit J. And if you go over, it'll show in red. There we go. See where it's over clipping there. Go back to 30. Same thing with the black. You see in the blue there. Then -10. Then we'll hit J, turn that off again. Okay. Clarity, my trick, if you remember, I'll do -60. Give it a little softer look. Texture, I'm going to get a -50, and now we're going to do some I'm gonna hit this already set at 50, 60, and now we're gonna draw the mask in here. I'm gonna show you a trick that a shortcut in a second here, because so I want to be able to zoom in and get more detail on the moose, on his antlers, on his bell here, and his legs. Maybe get a little bit deeper in here. I got the feathering on, so it won't come out too much on the grass. The way to do that is if I just click, it zooms all the way in. Now I can't really do too much editing because I can't even see this circle here that I dropped. It's not even showing up right now. Okay, so the pin wasn't showing up, and if you hit H, it'll actually hide this pin here. As you can see, it disappears. We're gonna keep that on. So if I hit done and I want to paint these antlers, I can't because I can't see my pin. So one way to do that is if you want to not zoom in so much, there's see here it says fit. It's fitting the whole image. If I zoom in, it goes to 1:1. If I click 1:3, there we go. That's much better. Now I can see more. When I zoom out, back to fit 1/3. But if you want to get closer, hit that 1:1. You could change this 1/3 to different selections. A quarter, or 3 ones, really in there. 4 ones. Then you get really detail in there. I like to keep the 1/3 because I can see more. So now if I want to go finish painting, select there, and I can. Alright, so it's brushed. Now you can see I have my moose is in detail, but the background's nice and blurred. It's got that soft look, which is great. Helps them stick out more. You can play with the saturation and vibrance just a little bit. See if we go all the way. Way too much. Very subtle. Remember, subtle changes is good. Want to keep it as natural looking as you can. This is nice. It adds a little color to the sage here. Just if I go to 7's too much. I think like a 3 would be happy medium. Oops, sorry about that. Here we can play with the S-curve to see what it can do for us. If I drop this, I'm darkening too much, too white, maybe just a hairline there change. Bring that fog a little bit more lighter. There we go. All right. Sharpening. Remember, hit your Alt, hit your mask, and get the edges there. Now we can zoom in. I'm gonna go back to 1:1 so we can see. Look at the antlers edges here. If I go turn that off, it's a little not as sharp. But if I run that up, so there you have it. All before, after, before, after. It's very subtle, but it's there. Noise reduction. I don't have too much noise, as you can see. I have a 1250, so I think I'm in pretty good shape. Let's see. Maybe I could play with the highlights. Let's see what the highlights can do for us. A little bit of. That's nice. See that? Get a fog, that blue. Obviously, we don't want to go that blue, but give a little edge there. There you go. And then here, the shadows, you can paint them. So if you want to give that sage a little bit more tone, very subtle, subtle. Turn that off. Before, after, barely any changes, but it's there. You'll be able to tell when you print it. And I think that'll complete that shot. You can see that. Maybe we got a little vignette. Let's see, vignetting. If I go left, see, yeah, all the way. So if I bring that out, it'll draw your eye to the moose. This is your midpoint, or you could go all the way out. I keep it subtle there, black, roundness. That's very. You see the edges are really sharp now. Keep it more natural. Feathering. smoother. See that? That's sharp also, but I must smooth it out. And then highlights. Doesn't really make much difference here, but the vignetting's there. This, if you want to add your own noise, you could add a grain. We don't want to introduce grain. I think that's more if you want to have a different type of style. Let's see if we can detail this eye a little bit more. We'll use a paintbrush. We'll color the eye here. Now, I don't want to add any exposure because then, you know, it looks like a creepy moose. Let's take these away. We'll add our own texture. There we go, a little bit of that. Clarity. And definitely some sharpness. And contrast. Not too black. Let's take this away a little bit. There we go, soften that up. Now let's see what that looks like. Zoom out. There you go, you see that? Maybe I want to add a little bit of detail this a little bit more here. The tongue. Since he's predominantly not too much, so I'm gonna go with a little bit of texture, just very slightly, in clarity, sharpness. Maybe that tongue needs a bit more color. It's a yellow tongue. Let's keep it at 0. You know what? We'll just add saturation to it. There we go. Let's see what that looks like. See that? Subtle changes. So there's that picture. I think that came out really good. You could give me your opinion on it. The other one I have, we'll get it done in one shot, is this here with a grand in the moose. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to rotate this just a bit, kind of even that horizon out, and then I'm going to change this to, I'm going to lock this. I'm going to crop out some of this grass here. I don't want to crop the top of the picture because I want to be able to get this cloud in there. It's not the ideal picture, but I think it'll be nice. Let's see. You know what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a gradient brush. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to bring this up because if you look at this, the horizon sun line is right about here. So I want to make this more shine better, like the way it was when I was in the field. I'll bring this up, and this will blend it nicely. So you'll see what I'm going to do here. Do that, and I'm going to increase this temperature to give it a more warm color on the mountain. There we go. You see that warmth? Here's before, and we'll go with 30. There we go. I'm going to take this away. Alright. Take that away. Another thing I got to correct here is my profile. Do that. Okay. Another thing I want to do here, hold on, let me see. A little bit of contrast. Highlights. You know, we could play with the highlights a little bit just to get a little bit more out of the cloud. And then shadows, not too much. I don't want to overexpose that like that because this is a little bit darker. I'm going to show you how we're going to warm this up in a minute. And then whites, we'll check the clipping. We don't want to go over 67. So let's see. See, that's way too much. Gotta be careful with I'm increasing the whites on the mountaintop. Blacks, you know, not over -50, but that's too dark. So we'll keep it really slightly change. I can't apply a negative texture because if I do that, see what that does to the mountain. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna add a gradient to the field. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop this, and have it blend the blend line here so it blends into the mountain base of the mountain a little bit. I'm gonna select that again. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna zero this out, 0, and then we're gonna apply a -50. We should be able to see in the clarity here. There we go. Let's do -70. I'm gonna increase this a little bit. Let's see. There we go. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of warmth to this field because the light was starting to come in. All right, there we go. Now let's apply that texture back to the moose. Again, I'm gonna do my 1/3. select this guy. What do we have before? We had a, oh sorry, we had a -50, -70. So we'll do done, zoom in, -50, -70, and we're gonna texture the moose. Zoom out. There we go. A little bit more clarity in here. Nice and soft background. We'll add the S curve here. Let's increase these. Yeah, let's add a little light to the bottom there. And then we'll drop this one just a bit. See how it changes the top of the mountain? Bright, a little bit dark. Even that out. Let's play with this a little bit, see what it does for us. A little too much blue. See what it'll do to us there. If you want to add warmth to it, you can definitely apply that. Remember, I'd like to do subtle. Again, you can see what this will do globally. So you can actually do in the same range there. And before, after. A little bit more warmth. Apply our detail mask. Our sharpening mask. Select. There's also, if I go too far, I get the mountain outline, but I lose the moose. Let's keep the moose because that's our detail. So that's about 38, 35. We'll zoom in. Here's no detailing, no sharpening, and here's that sharpening. So 100% before, after, before. Very subtle changes. If I see it better here in the mountain, let's see what this does over here. And see, this is not completely focused because I was focused on the moose. So before, after. It's very subtle, I guess. But we have some sharpness there. Let's check what our ISO is. 1250. So we're pretty good. So here's that shot. Let me show you something. So like I got a little bit of mist fog here. That Haze Tool, I never touch it, but here's what that'll do. You could add more haze, or you could take the haze away. You could also apply that as a brush. So we got this haze here. Apply that here. Turn that off. Let me reset these. 0. And here's what that haze will do to your picture. See how it brings that back? Now I like the haze. Won't let it mess with it. Keep it a little bit more mysterious. See that? Like that. Negative. We'll do -5. Subtle. Subtle changes. -5. And there we go. Alright folks, well that was a long one. Hope you enjoyed that. So we got 2 edited shots. The moose close up. And this, oh, let's add a little vignette. Since we did it to the other one. See what that does to us. Little black. Feather it out. Keep it rounded. Let's bring it in more. Here we go. Let's bring it in more, see what that does. Alright, well I'll post this on my Instagram and you guys can tell me what you think. Leave comments below, please. I'm building this as I go. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to be working on other tutorials pretty soon. I got some other videos that I want to load up soon of different time lapses. And again, thank you for joining me on this journey, and I hope you enjoyed it. Quick, I like these shots, so these might be coming up soon on my Instagram. So have a good evening, everybody.